I'm now joined by Weiliang, CEO of Huawei France, a leading global provider of ICT solutions. Hello, thank you very much for being with us here today. The Chinese multinational is marking its 20th anniversary in France, celebrating a lot of strategic partnership, innovative solution released in the French market to date. What have been for you the key milestones and achievements of Huawei France over the past 2 decades?
Yeah, hello, Thomas. Very nice to meet you, and thank you very much for inviting me. So actually, this year is the 20 years anniversary, as you said, for Huawei France. So actually, Huawei is established 2003 in France, and the first contract that we signed, it was with Neuf Telecom. At that year, I was still a student. I studied in France 20 years ago. So I was also the customer of Neuf Telecom. So this is a very coincidence. After 10 years, Huawei set up the first R&D centers in Sophia Antipolis to create our camera technology. For the 17 is the year that I take the position as the president of Huawei in France. And during my duties in France, we successfully to set up also one open lab who is capable to help the industry, our customer partner, to create the innovation of our solution in the industry. And 2021, we just announced that we are going to build the first factory that was a wireless product for the telecom factory out of China. Yeah. And on the top of this, there is also another program we call that Digital Impulse. I can introduce also later. But this program, during 10 years, we have almost 90 startups around Huawei to have the innovation with us together.
With all that has been done in the past 20 years, what does innovation mean for Huawei now?
Innovation means a lot of things. I think for Huawei, the principle two very important stuff. One is the investment. Yeah, the commitment and the investment. Because when people talk about the innovation, it's very hard just to talk about the idea without any investment. But for Huawei, since 20 years in France, we have more than 300 people, researchers, doctors, working in our R&D centers. We are in the 6 R&D centers in France. And the total amount in France during the last 10 years is around 350 million euros. Yeah, and in the global company of our Huawei globally, company every year, we invest more than 15% our revenue in the R&D centers. I think so. The first thing is the investment, and the second thing for us is the ecosystem. Before we can say that we innovate by ourselves. This is 20 years ago. Yeah. So every product, every gadget, cell phone is created by ourselves. But today, it is very hard to say that you can have the innovation by yourself. You have to work totally in the plug of the ecosystem. Today, we have a very good ecosystem, which is 89 startups working around the Huawei. I give you some example. One example is Dataiku, who is a startup win our prize in 2014. He is working in the AI technology and also data science. Yeah, and today he got a fund of 3.9 billion US dollars. So after working with Huawei. So this is a very good example.
In a few words, what's your vision of the future of ICTs?
I think ICT in the future is very important to support the new applications and technology. Today we talk a lot about ChatGPT, autonomous driving. All these new applications need a very solid and fragile infrastructure. And today, I think for the infrastructure, we need to think about 2 things. How make the infrastructure more intelligent to support the new applications. Second one is how we can make infrastructure more green. Because more application we use, more energy we are going to use. But to avoid this, we have to innovate a lot to save the energy and also to use the green energy.
Greener and more intelligent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank you very much, Thomas.
CEO of Huawei France.